Well, good morning, everybody. I'm glad so many students made it all the way over to Bristol. Um, it's not usual, I don't think, that we get so many students coming to a workshop, and I think that that's terrific. It shows a lot of interest in the program, and I'm really excited for you guys. My name's Paul Rickard. For those of you who haven't met me before, I'm a principal wildlife biologist with DEM. I happen to work these days in the Division of Forestry doing forest health issues. And during the winter, I'm on loan to Fish and Wildlife to do some waterfowl trapping and banding. And my co-presenter today is Charlie Brown. He's also a principal wildlife biologist, but he's with the Division of Fish and Wildlife. And Charlie is our fur bearer expert among the many hats that Charlie wears. He's working on some very interesting projects that will come up during our presentation today. This workshop that I'm doing today is going to be different than ones that you may have seen before, especially if you're seniors. You would be bored with my big giant talking head blah 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 thing. For the freshmen, you can get it next year. Today what I want to do is talk about tools of the trade, about the profession of wildlife management and what it is that we do and how we do it and why we do it. So it's not going to be about this is a box turtle and this is what it looks like and this is how many eggs it lays. That stuff you are going to have to study on your own. So with 338 potential species to choose from in the state that inhabit the state of Rhode Island, it's not fair that you have to study all of those. So I've narrowed it down to a dozen. I'm going to pass out a handout here, and I'm basically going to cover everything in the handout, okay? It's going to tell you what's expected on the day of the competition. It's going to tell you what species to study. It's going to have a list of most of the equipment that we're talking about up here. I would very much prefer that you don't read this now. Take it home. It will all be clear to you. It's going to be more important that you pay attention to what Charlie and I are talking about. You are going to be examined at the competition day on the equipment here, some of it that's here, and what we talk about. It's going to be 15 to 20% of your score. And it's not on paper. It's not, you can look things up on the web, but this is what we're going to be talking about. So if you could, try and focus on what we're talking about. So I've only got enough, I think, for each team to have a couple. So I'm going to save a couple. And if you represent a team or the rest of your, here you get two. If the rest of your team isn't here or whatever, if you could just take one for each team or for, there's some teachers here who are contemplating one per team, not one per member. If you have multiple teams in your school, you should probably only take one and you can make copies of them, perhaps. And if there are any left over, we can get copies to anybody who doesn't have it. All right. So, the interweb? Yeah, it'll be available. So, on the day of the competition, as usual, you'll be given an exam. There'll be 15 to 20 true-false questions. They will be related to the concepts and the terms in particular that are listed in this brochure and are posted on the web. You need to know frontwards and backwards the definitions of terms and the concepts and principles. Period. I say that every year, and it surprises me how many students don't know the basic glossary of terms. There's a lot of emphasis on terms and concepts. Over half the examination, 50% of your score is just on those items. Life histories, there's going to be questions on life histories of species. This year we're focusing on bats and, what was the other thing? Bats and turtles, terrestrial turtles, not marine turtles. Oh, I'm glad Anna isn't in the room because she's a marine biologist and that would really bum her. So that's that. There will also be questions relating to important wildlife legislation, as always, and wildlife diseases, particularly those that relate to human beings. And the focus is, as always, is on current events and local issues. We're not going to be talking about diseases of African species. It's all regional. Okay. Any questions so far? Yeah. I'm sorry? I still didn't get it. Yes, yes. And like I said, you don't really have to take copious notes because it's all right here. I list the species of bats. I list the species of turtles. Okay? So I know when I was a student, I would look down and I'd be writing what I just heard, but I'm missing what I didn't pay attention to when I was writing. So everything just about is here, or it refers you to where you can get it. You had asked about the perspective of students who have been in the program before and how they should prepare their teams. Well, I'll have to say one other thing about that is when you all leave here and you go back to your schools and start studying and whatnot, you're not alone. There are contacts that are willing to answer specific questions that you may have, whether it be about trapping or waterfowl or different soils aspects or forestry, a concept that you thought you remembered from your workshop but forgot about. And it's very rare that our organization is contacted for additional help. So I just want to put that out there. Is one of the benefits of being involved in Envirothon is interacting with us professional Joes in the field, and we are more than willing and more than happy to assist the clubs with their educational experience. So don't be afraid to contact the coordinator, Paul Dolan, to see if you need a speaker perhaps, and something may be able to be arranged. We also have resources, which Charlie can get into a little later, available to help you, your students study. So, without further ado, we're going to talk, as I said, about tools of the trade and how we use them and why. So, a lot of our focus is going to be on capturing and handling wildlife species. And by the way, if you have questions, just raise your hand. I'm happy to answer any questions. I don't